WWE reportedly turned down hosting Clash at the Castle at Wembley Stadium last year in favour of hosting the event at Cardiff's Principality Stadium. Details as to why they decided to go down that route. Plus, WWE delivers strong Q1 numbers in their earnings call yesterday, with plenty of stories coming out of that. One being strong SummerSlam ticket sales, with the ticket sales being so strong that more areas of Detroit's Ford Field are being opened up as we speak. Roman Reigns is set to appear now at Money in the Bank at London's O2 Arena after the undisputed WWE champion has been advertised for the event. Nick Khan has opened up why WWE's involvement in India has maybe slowed down a little bit over the past few years. An update on how much WWE is being paid to bring Backlash to Puerto Rico. Also, we've got the ratings for Tuesday's episode of NXT. The return of work to WWE's headquarters has now been delayed. For how long, we'll let you know. Plus, Charlotte Flair has opened up on her recent WWE television absence. An ex-writer of WWE has also discussed the lawsuit that dropped last week against former WWE writers as well as Vince McMahon. And an update on Cody Rhodes' entrance music in WWE 2K23. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of World Wrestling Entertainment. Let's start off talking about Wembley. Yes, lots of people are talking about Wembley, not when it comes to WWE, but rather AEW. But this is quite interesting because lots of people questioned last year, why didn't WWE run Wembley Stadium when they did their Clash at the Castle event? Of course, it was their first big UK stadium show ever since 1992 SummerSlam with the British Bulldog and Bret Hart. So why didn't they do it? Well, the United Kingdom is undoubtedly a hot market for professional wrestling, with AEW's upcoming All In show currently moving tens of thousands of tickets in a pre-sale, while WWE prepares to hold a sold-out Money in the Bank at the O2 Arena in London on July 1st. Last year, WWE also ran Clash at the Castle in Cardiff, Wales, but according to Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer, that was not the original plan. In fact, WWE had originally intended to use Wembley Stadium, but the company was offered more money to hold the event at the Principality Stadium, so the decision was made to change plans. Despite their decision to run a smaller venue, WWE Clash at the Castle reportedly had 62,296 fans in attendance. Additionally, according to WWE's Chief Content Officer Paul Triple H Levesque, the show became the company's largest ever European gate, with more merchandise sold than at any other event apart from WrestleMania. Clash at the Castle was headlined by Drew McIntyre challenging Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship and featured additional matches such as Sheamus vs. Gunther, Seth Rollins taking on Matt Riddle, and Edge teaming up with Rey Mysterio to face off against the Judgment Day. Although Money in the Bank sold out well ahead of time, the O2 Arena is a much smaller capacity compared to the Principality Stadium or Wembley Stadium. The company has said they hope to continue running major international events, and some difficult decisions will no doubt have to be made in regard to venue size moving forward. Now let's talk about the quarterly earnings call yesterday, because so many stories came out of this and it's very impressive stuff, it must be said, by WWE. Ahead of its earnings call for the first quarter of 2023, WWE released highlights of the company's performance thus far. According to a WWE press release, both Raw and SmackDown saw a solid viewership increase of 7% over the first 3 months of 2023. Contextually, the cable and broadcast TV markets both declined a respective 15% and 6%, meaning WWE's flagship programs both outperformed their respective markets. Both WWE Premium Live events in Q1, the Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber events, set viewership records, each with more than a 50% year-over-year increase. WWE also highlighted WrestleMania's performance despite falling outside Q1, boasting a 29% increase in global unique viewership and 31% domestic unique viewership year-over-year as well. It wasn't just in television that WWE is succeeding though. Fans are coming out to WWE events in droves once again, and as a result, the company is reaping the financial benefits. Yesterday, WWE released its report of the first quarter of 2023, and in the sector of live events, business is booming for the sports entertainment giant. WWE experienced an upward trajectory of 41% in live events revenue, seeing a significant boost from just over $23 million during the same period last year to $32.6 million for Q1. While fewer ticketed events were on the books this year, 50 as opposed to 53 in 2022, WWE managed to achieve this rise both due to average attendance and average ticket prices both being up. Last year, WWE was clocking in with an average crowd of 5,700 per event. However, for the opening quarter of 2023, WWE saw that average elevated to just over 7,800, all coming from dates in North America, as the company had no international shows scheduled this year, whereas there was one in the mix in 2022. With 0 events and 0 accompanying revenue reported in Q1 for 2021 due to WWE still being off the road due to the COVID-19 pandemic, WWE's financial numbers yesterday morning show that not only have crowds come back for its wrestling shows, but WWE's product is recently drawing them with significant growth. That's the type of improvement investors are happy to see, especially ahead of the merger with UFC and the formation of a new company on the horizon. Now, one of the biggest stories, in mainstream media at the moment, is the WGA writers' strike. And many people wondered, is this going to have any effect on WWE? The Writers Guild of America has officially approved a strike, stopping work on a huge number of film and television projects around the United States. One property that won't be affected, however, is WWE. Speaking on the company's quarterly earnings call yesterday, WWE CEO Nick Khan confirmed that the company's writers are not members of the union, shock, and business for WWE will proceed as usual. Quote, "Of course, we're supportive of the writers who are members of the guild and their efforts," Khan said, "and we're hopeful that a deal can be reached between them and the other side in short order." Though his current company won't be affected by the strike in any major way, Khan is no stranger to involvement with Hollywood. Prior to being hired as president of WWE in 2020, Khan worked for a massive Hollywood agency, CAA, where he served as the company's co-head of television. His previous relationship with WWE saw him help negotiate their TV rights deal starting in 2017, helping the company reach new heights in terms of revenue. Yesterday's Q1 earnings call featured plenty of good news for WWE, as I mentioned, which we'll continue to talk about because it's continuing. It's been a very successful period for WWE, certainly. Now, also on the call wasn't just Nick Khan, it was Paul Triple H Levesque, WWE's chief content officer, and he spoke about how their long-term planning and character development played a part in the financial success they experienced during the first few months of 2023. Quote, "As far as what we're focused on character development," Levesque said. "I think you see that across storylines where our fans are super engaged and the talent. Let's take the Sami Zayn bloodline story, especially in the last 6 to 8 months, where that story and the character development has reached a whole new level. I think it just got our fans excited and invested in the content like they haven't been in a long time." Levesque noted they have put an emphasis on long-term planning and are now looking at where they want to be a year out and then backtracking from there to stay ahead of the curve. Levesque concluded that he's excited to see where they go with all of this. WWE Zayn bloodline storyline was universally praised for months as fans and pundits witnessed Zayn's inclusion, rise, and eventual exclusion from the faction led by undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns. Both the Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber premium live events ended with major story developments in the feud to lay the groundwork for the 2 matches that went on to headline WrestleMania 39 in Hollywood. While Reigns is still the top champion, Zayn and Kevin Owens were able to dethrone the Usos to win the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships. Now, as I mentioned, as we go on through this year, one of the big stories will also be the merger between WWE and UFC under the umbrella of Endeavor. Now, during the Q&A on their quarterly earnings call, WWE was asked how they expected to handle life inside of a larger company. They were more specifically asked how to keep business fresh, especially on the creative side and keeping the rating trends positive. WWE CEO Nick Khan started out by emphasizing his familiarity with Endeavor from years before when the acquisition was even on the table, saying, quote, "We're all excited about everything that should and will happen together with UFC and the folks with Endeavor," he said. "Keep in mind, we've known these folks for a long period of time, so they're no strangers to us. Their style is not strange to us. It's something that we give a full embrace to." He added that fans and investors should expect no involvement from Endeavor into booking or creative, saying, quote, "I can certainly represent emphatically to you on the creative side that there's no one at Endeavor or the UFC that has any interest in trying to interfere in that way whatsoever. I think Dana White would also represent that you never, almost never, I don't know the specifics, but would never be my guess have the Endeavor folks told him you should do this match or you should do it this way. That's not what they do. That's not what they say they do. That's not what they're gonna do." He instead spoke about leveraging Endeavor's expertise on growing revenue and building the business both internationally and domestically, and we'll get into more specifics on that end once the deal with Endeavor is finalized. Paul Triple H Levesque also reiterated this point afterwards, saying, "Creatively, we look forward to doing what we do," and expressed his own excitement for what Endeavor brings to the table as well. Now, I mentioned strong ticket sales were a part of this call, and certainly one big event that's coming up this year is SummerSlam. The first week in May seems to be all about ticket sales in the pro wrestling world. The ongoing pre-sale for AEW All In and the ticket sales generated from it so far have been watched very closely since yesterday, and now WWE, they're looking to get in on the fun too, with an update on ticket sales for SummerSlam in Detroit, Michigan this August. At the first quarter earnings call yesterday, CEO Nick Khan touted SummerSlam's success in moving tickets so far, to the point that he revealed WWE is looking to get more people in Ford Field than previously expected, saying, quote, "More tickets were sold on sale for the upcoming SummerSlam than any other domestic WWE show in our company's history outside of WrestleMania," Khan said. "In the coming weeks, we expect to be opening up new sections of Ford Field so we can keep up with the demand." Khan didn't specify just how many new seats would be made available for SummerSlam or when these tickets would go on sale. No update was provided on how many tickets SummerSlam had sold since sales kicked off on April 14, when WWE reportedly sold over 32,000 tickets. This will be WWE's second event at Ford Field since the venue opened in 2002. The promotion had previously run the stadium, the home of the NFL's Detroit Lions, back in 2007 for WrestleMania 23. That show was also a big hit, with WWE reporting an attendance of over 80,000, a record number for Ford Field to this day. Now, speaking of big events this summer too, Roman Reigns reportedly is indeed going to be at Money in the Bank, which is a big change. Now, obviously, the show is set to be WWE's return to England on Saturday, July 1st at the O2 in London, but the status of a couple of the company's biggest stars may be in question. Firstly, there's Roman Reigns, who was previously not listed as advertised for the show in the event section of WWE's website. However, that's changed, as WWE has now added Roman Reigns to the list of names advertised, seemingly confirming he will indeed be making the journey to England. Of course, the lineup is subject to change, but the fact he wasn't listed and now they've actively added him suggested it's more than likely he'll be there than not. There has been one move in the opposite direction though, and it may be bad news for UK fans. WWE has actually removed Drew McIntyre from the list of advertised names for Money in the Bank. This could be due to McIntyre's uncertain situation with the company right now. He's been out nursing some injury issues after WrestleMania, but the belief was he'd only be out of action for a few weeks. He is, however, in the midst of a questionable contract situation, as his WWE deal is coming up later this year, and he and WWE are said to be far apart on coming to terms. There's plenty of time for that to resolve itself, but the fact WWE has removed him from advertising for its major UK show kind of tells you that something is not 100% right now. In adding Reigns, WWE removed Charlotte Flair from the list of advertised names, and in removing McIntyre, his replacement in the list was Rhea Ripley. Now, when it comes to Money in the Bank, there is a bit of a calculated plot to all of this. WWE, as I mentioned, will be returning to the United Kingdom on July 1st as Money in the Bank takes place in London, England. And during the company's first quarter earnings call yesterday, Nick Khan confirmed that it is being done to present the company to potential partners. Quote, "One of the reasons for Money in the Bank event on July 1st at the O2 Arena in London is so the buyers can see our product live," he confirmed. "It's a heck of a lot easier for all of us once people have for them to understand exactly what sports entertainment is compared to us simply articulating to them what we believe it is. This is all being done as a part of WWE's desire to grow." As Khan confirmed, the company is having talks regarding both the core content rights and the WWE network with buyers in the UK. Of course, WWE has already migrated its WWE Network library to Peacock, but that is not available here in the United Kingdom. As such, the company is exploring other options, with this event set to be part of that. Quote, "So Los Angeles, SoFi, WrestleMania going into the US media rights negotiations was intentional, and obviously the London UK show as well," Khan said, "but we are open to business in terms of the network and of course the core content rights. The event will showcase a passionate crowd to potential buyers, as the show reportedly sold out in just 1 minute and will mark the first time that the annual Money in the Bank event has taken place overseas." Now, what about, speaking of international WWE rights, WWE's presence in India? As WWE prepares to head to Puerto Rico for Backlash this Saturday, the company's interest in international expansion has clearly never been stronger. And one country the company has always had its eye on is India. On Wednesday's Q1 earnings call, WWE CEO Nick Khan revealed what has kept the company's operations out of India in recent years, but indicated those barriers will soon come down. Quote, "The gating factor on India was COVID," Khan said. said. As you know, very difficult to get in and out of India during that period of time, which paused our efforts there. Those have been unpaused. Khan also referenced the upcoming merger between Sony India and Mumbai-based Z Entertainment Enterprises and stated that WWE is currently focused on domestic media rights while waiting for that deal to be approved. We're in constant dialogue with Sony often, so we feel good about where that is, Khan said. We feel good about where it can go with them and beyond. Back in December, the Wrestling Observer newsletter reported that a WWE live event rumored to be taking place in India in January of this year had been put on hold due to the Sony/Z merger. At the time, the merger was expected to be finalized in April of this year, but on the earnings call, Khan indicated that it was still awaiting regulatory approval and suggested a significantly longer timeline. Quote, "That deal is not up until later in 2024, if I'm remembering correctly," he said. Now, WWE has not made a trip to India since 2017. When current WWE Chief Content Officer Paul "Triple H" Levesque defeated former WWE Champion Jinder Mahal. Mahal is set to make his return to Monday Night Raw following Backlash as part of the group Indus Sher, who were called up from NXT in the recent WWE draft. So if you're a fan of WWE from India and you're wondering why there's been a bit of a delay on maybe tours there or what have you, or events there, that's the reason why, according to Nick Khan anyway. Now, as I mentioned, Backlash is this coming Saturday, and details have emerged on how much WWE has been paid in subsidiaries ahead of Backlash taking place in Puerto Rico. The May 6th premium live event will emanate from the Coliseo de Puerto Rico Jose Miguel Agrelot in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Both Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics and Fightful Select have now reported that WWE is being paid $1.5 million to bring the upcoming event to Puerto Rico. Per Fightful, the Puerto Rico Convention Center District Authority and the Puerto Rico Tourism Company are paying this fee. WWE CEO Nick Khan's recent comments during Wednesday's Q1 2023 earnings call appear to support these reports. During the call, Khan noted that WWE received a seven-figure subsidiary for Backlash. Several big names will be in action at the event, with both Brock Lesnar and rapper Bad Bunny set to compete, but WWE being paid a hefty amount to take the show to Puerto Rico. Let's switch gears here and talk about NXT. In theory, the interest in Tuesday's episode of NXT would have been above usual levels given the developmental brand's exposure during the draft episodes of Raw the prior night and SmackDown the prior Friday. In practice, though, it didn't work out that way, with the post-draft show, which closed with Women's Champion Indy Hartwell's farewell before heading to the main roster, drawing around where the show had settled of late outside of last week's spring-breaking episode. According to reporting from Showbuzz Daily and WrestleNomics, the May 2nd NXT averaged 568,000 viewers overall across its 125 minutes, which is down 12% from the previous week, approximately 183,000 of which were in the key demo most valued by advertisers, those being adults aged 18 to 49, which is down 22% from the week prior to. The latter figure translates to a 0.14 rating in the key demographic, which earned NXT 15th place in Showbuzz Daily's rankings of cable originals for Tuesday. For a bigger picture look at the ratings, the WrestleNomics Patreon page tracks the median viewership across various demographics over the preceding 4 weeks. By that metric, Tuesday's NXT viewership was all over the place depending on the demo. The biggest percentage increase came in women aged 18 to 49, with a 10% jump over the median, followed by female viewers aged 12 to 34, which went up by 8%. Most of the other increases were negligible in 1 to 3 percentile range, with the biggest percentage drop that came in male viewers aged 12 to 34 at 20% down from the median, followed by adults aged 18 to 34 at an 11% loss, and male viewers aged 18 to 49 at an 8% loss too. Now, one of the big matches coming out of NXT this Tuesday was Gigi Dolan versus Jacy Jayne. Now, NXT star Gigi Dolan has actually deleted her Twitter account on Wednesday, following her loss to former tag team partner Jacy Jayne on Tuesday. It's unclear whether Dolan deleted her Twitter account as part of the WWE storyline or for a personal reason. Her other social media profiles, including Facebook and Instagram, were still active as of the time of recording this video. Dolan's deactivation of her social media profile comes a few days after she lost a physical and extremely personal matchup against Jayne on NXT on Tuesday. Dolan and Jayne, her former Toxic Attraction partner, have been at odds in recent months since the pair imploded on NXT in February. Now, this has been an ongoing story, hasn't it? Certainly. That's the return to WWE HQ, or the new HQ for WWE employees. With the official end of the government's COVID-19 national emergency protections, many people are returning to the office after years of working from home. But that process will take just a little bit longer in Stamford, Connecticut. PW Insider Elite is reporting that WWE's original plan to have employees back at WWE headquarters by May 3rd has hit a snag. And now the mandatory return to the office has been pushed back to Monday, May 9th. The news as this news comes as WWE is in the process of moving from their Titan Towers headquarters to their new HQ at 707 Washington Boulevard, of course also in Stamford, Connecticut. So a bit of a delay when it comes to the WWE HQ return to work for several WWE employees. Charlotte Flair. We haven't seen Charlotte Flair since WrestleMania, and in a new interview with Boardroom, Charlotte Flair has addressed her recent absence from WWE. In a broad-ranging interview about her interests in the future, included branded partnerships, Charlotte Flair was asked about the recent sale of WWE to Endeavor. In response, Flair discussed her thoughts in a brief, but moreover, described more about why she's been out of action recently and in the past. Flair said, quote, "When it comes to the business side, I feel as a performer, my position isn't going to change. Maybe if I was brand new, but my job as a performer is just to make who's behind the headphones in Gorilla happy, and then the fans. I don't really get wrapped up in what's happening there, but the sale is a big deal. I'll be interested to see what happens in the future with Endeavor. For me, I went from never having days off to getting injured last year after WrestleMania and being off for 7 months, and now off again for a couple of weeks for something that I needed to take care of. So it's a blessing and a curse. Like, no one wants to be injured, but having that first time off for that extended amount of time, I think was definitely healthy for my mindset." So she's saying it's a little bit of time off to take some care of some things. What those things are, we'll have to wait and see, and we'll have to wait and see indeed when Charlotte Flair returns to television. One of the biggest stories last week was this bombshell lawsuit, I know which one, against WWE. An ex-WWE writer is suing the company for discrimination, claiming she was let go after raising concerns about racism in some of the company's creative team scripts. Former WWE writer Dave Schilling recently joined the Inside the Weeds podcast and discussed the matter, and he said he wasn't surprised to learn that someone had that type of experience while working with the promotion. He said, quote, "It's not the best place to work if you're a person of color, you're a woman, you're LGBTQ. It's difficult because there are a lot of people there who are older, who are maybe not as sensitive to certain things. At the end of the day, the person who makes all the decisions is Vince McMahon." According to Schilling, McMahon isn't exactly the most sensitive person out there, but his position ensures that he has a lot of say over the WWE product and what makes it to air. The writer who's suing the promotion, Brittany Abrahams, claims she protested against several offensive scripts and ideas when she was with WWE. Examples include a pitch for Bianca Belair to use stereotypical jargon, an idea for Mansoor to be revealed as an orchestrator behind the 9/11 terrorist attacks. However, Vince McMahon, Stephanie McMahon, and other company employees allegedly discriminated against her for speaking up. Schilling worked for WWE in 2019 and was involved in Kofi Kingston's Kofi Mania storyline, which saw him win the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 39. During the interview, he noted that the storyline could have gone down a questionable path, but he thought WWE actually handled it with care. Quote, "I never felt that storyline was disrespectful," he said. "I never felt that storyline was treated in a way where Kofi came off as, kind of a token champion." He also revealed when the plans were for Brock Lesnar to defeat Kofi were actually made, saying they were made pretty much at WrestleMania as soon as Kofi won the bout. Finally, there's been this weird story, hasn't there, about Cody Rhodes' entrance theme in WWE 2K23, and Downstate have now commented on issues with Cody Rhodes' entrance theme in the video game. Cody Rhodes' Kingdom entrance music is one of the most popular WWE themes currently used. Despite its popularity, fans cannot play the music through the jukebox to listen to on the menu, and cannot assign the music to any wrestler other than Rhodes for entrances. On Twitter, a fan asked Downstate about these issues. The official account of the band replied, indicating they'd be okay with talking to 2K or WWE Games about rectifying the situation. They tweeted, quote, "No talks yet. If 2K or WWE Games needs us to sign anything to make it happen, we'll totally do that. And, continued use. Next year's game will be here before you know it, so let's get that out of the way too." So, according to them, they don't know what the issue is, so maybe it will get resolved fairly soon. But there you go, guys. It's the latest WWE news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right-hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.